everybody. Welcome to another beautiful episode of Tete-a-tete. Tete-a-tete, organized by MyCinema Hall. And it is the initiative, it is a platform where the individual filmmakers, they can explore their feelings, their thought process behind their respective projects. And also MyCinema Hall want to introduce the interpersonal, inter-skilled cultural contact in all over the world with different and several filmmakers who have shared their respective projects to us. And today we are having, I am having with me, we will have a chit chat, a tete a tete. We have Shauranya with us, and we are having Mr. Rajesh Gautam Kumar Jha. They both are from India, and they have shared their project. So welcome to Tete a Tete, and have a wonderful time ahead, have a wonderful walk ahead, and we will start the chatting. I'll come to Sharono. Sharono, welcome to Tete Tete. And my first question is to you that I want to know a brief regarding your project. The project you have shared with us. Can you please brief me that why you have chosen this topic? What are the homeworks you have taken prior to shoot? And can you brief me something about it?
Migration of the migrant, the case of the migrant workers happened, and that really flabbergasted me. And that was the first thing that shook me, and probably that was the thing that brought me to this project. That was the thing, and later we developed upon it. Another thing that obviously that bothered me was the what is the duty of an artist towards the society? Does it have any duty, or we are just entertainers? Again, the people who claim themselves to be the entertainers, I have no problem with them. But there is again the few people who claim that there is a revolutionary role in artist and all that, but in reality there is a deep rooted hypocrisy in that, and they only enjoy the part that they are selling their revolutionary facade to become something that they are not, and that is again a part of their USP as well. So this was the basic theme we worked upon, and slowly I started to write the screenplay, and we decided to go with we obviously had another project in mind, but we decided to go with it because we thought that it was the demand of the time, and we should say at least something about the time, uh, in this tragic time, this dark time.
You have given a very nice, very critical name to your project, that nightmare of an accidental artist. Why so? What's the reason behind choosing such a critical?
Yeah, actually, if you see the film, you will know that there is a labyrinth of nightmares happening to the protagonist, who is an artist, an actor, and he is constantly in a circle of nightmares. He is waking up from a nightmare and again going into a nightmare again, and the film ends where we don't know if it's reality or a nightmare again. So nightmare was there, and again the accidental artist part. Obviously, the for me at least, an artist devoid of duty is not an artist at all. Devoid of duty, I mean social responsibility, or something. If the upheavals of the society doesn't bother him, I think he isn't an artist. But there are people who claim to be artists, and who are well off, and they are happy in their cozy armchair. Uh, for me, I just there's a little bit of satire to it, calling them an accidental artist. They have become artist accidentally. So that was it. Just
Okay, and any background work, like any pre-production, post-production work, and how long it took you to shoot the entire project, entire movie?
it was actually we didn't have much budget, so it had to be shot in a very small time. It was shot in 2 days actually. uh, Complete 2 days. We didn't take any rest the whole night, and another day it took. So the pre-production of actually this our itself was quite good for the pre-production. During the lockdown and all that we faced just came. So I didn't have to study separately about that, as during the lockdown and the migrant worker crisis, I was pretty much involved with the situation. I was pretty much involved with the at least the news, and very much concerned about that. That's why it was all inside, and didn't have to actually separately work for it or do a homework for it. It just was there.
Rajesh, we got a couple of projects from your end. One is The Darling Wife, another is Planchet. Can you please brief me something about your projects?
My projects were before the corona pandemic started. So Planchet was shot in 2018 and Darling Wife was shot in 2019. The Darling Wife, the Planchet is a short film. Actually, it is based on a story written by my father, who is no more with me.
Oh,
This
very
is a
sorry to
story.
hear that.
This is a story written by my father. I decided to make a short film on that. And
Okay,
basically, the director Sumitra Banerjee, he understood the story, and everything was basically it was my first project. And Sumitra Banerjee, he wrote the screenplay of the short film, and um, if you have seen the movie, it was basically a relationship with mixture of horror and mm, it's a story by my father which I had shot. And The Darling Wife is a feature film, is a Hindi feature film which I had again. It's I made it out of passion, and I wanted to make a Hindi film in Kolkata with all the Bengali actors. That was a challenge for me. And Varshali Chatterjee was the director of this film. She also was the screenplay of this film, and the story was by one Jaya Chakraborty. She wrote the story, and we made this into a Hindi feature film. I wrote the Hindi script of The Darling Wife, and all the artists were from Bengal. Ushoshi Chatterjee, Ankita Chakraborty, they were the two lead artists, with Amitabh Acharya played the male role. And it was shot in 6 days' time. That was a challenge for us. For both again the same budget constraints, so we had to shoot it within 6 days. So the whole movie was shot in 6 days' time, and so that is it. Plus point was that uh, basically, very honestly, only I was the person who was in charge of the Hindi factor. So I was the boss. So nobody questioned me. I was the captain regarding the Hindi speaking. And so everybody reported to me while speaking in like, is it okay? So that was a plus point. The negative point was there was a lot of pronunciation errors and other grammatical errors which I had to correct it while they were saying the dialogues and during the dubbing time. But I got full support from the whole team, because everybody listened to what I said and they spoke accordingly to that. Ankita Chakraborty speaks very well, good Hindi, so there was no problem with that. Amitabh Acharya he is a Hindi speaking person. He used to do theaters in Delhi, so there was no problem with that. But the rest of them, like Ushoshi, she's a very good actress in Kolkata, but of course Hindi. But I chose the role in such a way that she was the governess of the house, so she spoke the Hindi in a Bengali tone, which was acceptable in the movie theme. And the other actors, didn't have much role in it, so they really rehearsed their Hindi very well and spoke on the sets very well.
Oh, wonderful. So this is something of filmmakers which has always fascinated me. Like somebody, you have portrayed the character, though it has been filmed or it has been shot in Kolkata. So maybe the Pinky, she is a Bengali person, but she is speaking with her homemates or inmates in Hindi. So there is a Bengali influence or Bengali accent. So you have used it, the language, in a very intricate way. And I hope that have you used any dubbing artist or they themselves has dubbed their voices
No, except one artist, rest all of them did their own dubbing.
or a video clip? Can we play the video clip?
मैडम को काउंसलिंग की बहुत जरूरत है।
मेरी प्रॉब्लम ये है कि मुझे पता नहीं कि मेरी प्रॉब्लम क्या है। कोई मेरे आसपास है।
परी परी क्या हुआ परी 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 यहाँ कोई नहीं है। परी मेरी तरफ देखो यहाँ कोई नहीं है, सिर्फ तुम हो और मैं हूँ।
मैंने उसको देखा है, अपनी आंखों से देखा है मैंने उसको। अमन! अमन! Do you believe in paranormal activities? I mean, भूत।
Oh, that's wonderful. And Onkita and Ushushi, they're the wonderful resources we have in our Bengali film industry. And also Amitabh. So you have used them in a very defined, very subtle and very, what I can say, very structured way. So wonderful, Rajesh. I'll come to Sharonno again. That whatever you're talking about, that the nightmare was going on, there were some eerie effects, how difficult it is to shoot such topics technically as a director. What are the technical challenges you have faced, and if you have used any special technology to shoot the entire thing, which creates a more vibrant perception or a more realistic perception?
Actually, we as a team always were wanted that it shouldn't look very eerie. Actually, it is a nightmare. It maybe it can have surreal effect, but not a very eerie effect. I didn't want that kind of a ghost like film or horror movie effect. I never wanted it. I wanted it to happen in a very surreal manner, or a very realistic but happening in very surreal manner. For instance, I was very influenced. Actually, they are the filmmakers whom I admire so much. Bergman, on Fellini, especially, and Satyajit Ray. Their dream works in 8.5, when the dream sequences are shot. The nightmares are not very ghostly or ghost-like, right? They have such a beautiful surreal effect. We wanted to bring that in the film more than the eerie aspect.
Have you been through with Satyajit Ray's Monihara?
Yeah, I have seen the film. Obviously, it's a great movie. More than Munihar, actually, the film takes, actually, it says in a dialogue as well, takes from the nightmares of Uttam Kumar Nayak or Arindam Nayok.
Okay.
And or in or in 8.5 Guido's nightmares. We gave a subtle, throughout the film there are subtle tributes to these great filmmakers as well. So yeah.
And I'll ask something regarding Planchet. That Planchet, you are talking about a relationship or a coherent habitants between the brother and sister. One is a human being, another is a spirit. So, what are the technicalities you have used to portray the entire thing?
Actually, my director, he exactly understood the story, and so he used the camera and the DOP also. He knew exactly what he had to do regarding the certain effects. That effect, if you have seen that, when the Priyam, the hero, is dreaming uh, uh, about Lily Di. So that sequence was done in a very with all the technique. I am not a technical man, so the director and
Okay.
the cameraman they would have been the best person who could have replied your answer. But they exactly understood what I wanted to say, what my father wanted to say in the book, and they exactly portrayed it according to it. So it was done very well, and it was the planchet was shot in 3 days. So and like there was not very. I mean, we all enjoyed during the shooting. There was regarding the technical aspect, like what camera it was used. That I am not. I won't be able to answer you very specifically.
Okay. Can we have a small clippings from planchets?
আমরা প্ল্যানচেট করব।
দাঁড়াও,
প্ল্যানচেট? আমার মনে হয় তুই খুব ভালো মিডিয়াম, যে কোনো আত্মাকে আকর্ষণ করে নিজের শরীরে ধরে রাখতে পারিস।
Excellent. And Tete-a-tete, it is such an interactive platform. It is such a friendly platform. We haven't stopped ourselves only with talking to the filmmakers or the people, cast and crew associated with the films. We have taken the reactions as well of the viewers, of the audience. So we got one or two feedback from your viewers. So let's have a look what your viewers have said.
Darling Wife is a spine-chilling horror mystery movie directed by young director Boishali Chatterjee. The story beautifully unfolds to a very unexpected twist. Everything from the screenplay, direction, music, performance are highly nuanced. Please go ahead and watch the movie.
I would like to talk about the film Planchet. It's a production of Mr. Rajesh Jha, and the storyline is very strong, and it depicts a lot of family relationships and how ideology of Planchet emerges later on. A very well made film, and I wish all the best for this film.
Shaurya, who are your favorite actors?
Actor as well. So my favorite actor is all time Al Pacino.
Okay. And who's your favorite director?
Tough question. Many. Probably Federico Fellini, and in India Ritwik Ghatak,
Oh, that's
and
wonderful.
Zafar
The same
Panahi as well.
question
Sorry,
I'll ask
Zafar
you.
Panahi.
Oh, great. And I'll ask the same question to Rajesh as well.
There are lots. I mean, you can't be specific, but an actor which always comes to my mind is uh, in Hindi it is Amitabh Bachchan, in Bengali it is Uttam Kumar, and in England and in the Hollywood movies there are lots of Steve McQueen, Marlon Brando, Roger Moore. I like a lot, many. An actress in Bengali it is. Again, Suchitra Sen, I liked her a lot with Uttam Kumar. And then it is Rekha.
Oh, as a
In
matter of fact,
Hindi,
Rekha Ji is one of my favorite actresses as well.
in
I just
Hindi
love Rekha
and
Ji watching
and in
every
Hollywood,
movie. She's so spectacular.
yeah. So I mean, it depends upon like the films and the characters. But yes, there are some actors which you can always you can watch and watch always any time of the day you can watch them. So one they are there: Rekha, Amitabh Bachchan, Uttam Kumar, Marlon Brando. Then there's so many.
I do understand. See, we all are associated with films, and this lockdown period from 2021 onwards, when lockdown has just started in India, the film industry, they have suffered a lot in many ways. So I'm not going into that aspects. And during this period of time, the demand of OTT platforms, like the online platforms, has developed or has spreaded or expanded in a it was just mushrooming because people are not really visiting the standalones or the multiplexes were closed for a long period of time. So OTT was the one and only platform where people are releasing their projects. So do you think that OTT is the future of Indian film industry, or there will be a mix and match of OTT and also the plex releases? My question first, I'll ask this question to Rajesh.
Yeah, OTT is the future, of course. There's no doubt about it. A filmmaker today has a lot of option regarding where to show his movie. Once the corona pandemic is over, then the theaters, of course, it's always been the best place to watch a movie, but OTT is going to be the future, and a filmmaker of various budgets. Now you have to decide what exactly what you want to do, whom to show. You have a lot of audience. The whole world is your audience, so your subject has to be much more global, and you cannot just pick on certain subjects and do a film on it. It has to have a global appeal. So OTT is the future of the cinema industry, and it is theaters are there to stay, because watching a movie on a theater, a good movie on a theater, there is no alternative.
But Rajesh, don't you think that sometimes the OTT people, once you are working with an OTT platform, they're intervening or they are coming to the or hampering the creative aspects of a filmmaker, of an individual filmmaker? That is also happening. That is something in all the way it's not desirable because it may stringent or it may shrinken directors' aspects and their creativity.
Yes, creativity is a must for any director or any filmmaker, because without the creative part, the film doesn't. You just can't make a commercial film. Just out of soul and soul, commercial film is very difficult. Creativity is important in film, that's no doubt. But at the same time, you have to have a balance. The OTT, what I my personal experience with the OTT, because I have sold my film in OTT platforms. What my experience with OTTs, they are not hampering your creativity. They want a good story. The basic thing is the same. They want a good story, good acting, and a good and a mixture of everything. They will not. They want something which the global audience want to see. Now it depends upon the filmmaker what to show and what is his audience uh, target, whom he is targeting as the audience. So your audience, a filmmaker has various targets. Like he has to first select which audience he has to show. Once the filmmaker is focused on his audience, then the OTT, then I mean, there's creativity part is not a problem, because the OTT also, they want good movies with a good story and a good um, uh, and a nicely made film. So creativity remains the same. It's all about the story and how the filmmaker is making the film.
What Sharono is going to say? What is your reaction?
Yeah, actually, we are very insignificant people to comment what would be the future. Many people have predicted future and that turned out to be wrong. So actually, how I read it is uh, when film came, everybody thought the theater would not work. I mean, theater means play, where live performance theater would not sustain
Perform.
anymore, but it sustained, both sustained equally. So what I think that OTT, obviously is a has become very integral part of at least the middle class cultural part, but I don't think it would ever just devalue the essentiality of hall theaters and big screens. For instance, there are different for OTT we can see different contents. For instance, for let us suppose that films like Pushpa or films like the made by Salman Khan, I think that would be good to go to theater and watch it in multiplexes, people screaming and that everything happening, people cheering Allu Arjun and all that. That has another vibrance, and that is also a very integral part of cinema, and that contributes hugely to the commercial aspect. So that cannot be cut off that should not be, and I think it would not cut off ever. So again, coming to the point, in OTT for instance, the things like what TVF is doing, the contents like tripling, or the contents like Quota Factory or Aspirants, that wouldn't have happened if OTT wasn't there, or Scam 1992, it wouldn't have happened if OTT wasn't there. So I think OTT has given a huge range of contents, but it is and it would remain an integral part of future as well, but it would not surmount the importance of multiplexes as well.
Let me share a few more information that My Cinema Hall app plays a very pivotal role in this matter. My Cinema Hall, it's not at all a typical OTT platform. We called ourselves a bridge between the global audience and the individual filmmakers. Because why I have asked you this question, that you're talking about a Salman Khan movie or a very big budget Karan Johar or Rohit Shetty movie, it will bring revenue, it will generate revenue. But there are small budget films as well. There are individual filmmakers as well who are trying to promote their projects, but they're not getting a proper platform. My Cinema Hall plays the role exactly in this particular context, where we are providing a large scale of audience and a broadened platform, a broader horizon to individual filmmakers, so they can showcase their project, they can portray their project, and they will get a global acknowledgement. And with the same thing, I want to convey all of you that you all have showcased, or you all have shared your project for these festivals. There are three categories, and we are going to choose 5 films where the viewers are 5 highest viewers, or where the viewers have rated the movie the highest viewers. In each category we are going to choose 5 movies, and we are going to refund their entry fee as a reward and as a mark of appreciation. That we have taken a decision, but there are more ways which I'm not going to reveal. It will come by and by. And the last part, that what is your collaboration? How you have felt about My Cinema Hall app? What is your overall experience of rating us?
Yeah, I think this app is very essential and very important. Uh, Even last year, this festival happened, and our film was officially selected there as well, Cinema Mon Amour. And more than 100 people saw that film, and that was really nice and good, because in independent filmmakers like us, uh, we probably have a platform. We probably have a platform like YouTube. We can give our films on YouTube, but seeing films in free, I don't support that, because mm, money is invested here, and return is important. If not complete return, at least something. So there is obviously art is art, but there is a commercial aspect involved with it, and My Cinema Hall provides that platform to that young and independent filmmakers who can promote their work, give their work, and people can see it, rate it, and again they can have the return as well. So it is wonderful and essential as well.
What is your view about this, Rajesh?
Yeah, it's a very lovely concept, and hopefully it will become popular someday, because individual, a small filmmaker, it's very difficult for him to market his film, because it involves a lot of money, and since it's a creative field, but at the same time it has to be commercially viable. So hopefully you all are successful in making the individual, a small filmmaker, showcase their film on your platform and recover some of their money at least, so that it helps them to think for their next film. And how much commercially is going to be beneficial for a new filmmaker or a small filmmaker, it's to be seen, like whether a small filmmaker with a low budget or a person who has made a film with certain amount of money can recover a little bit from this, and whether he can showcase his film to a wider audience and release it in theaters, or an OTT platform buys it from him. It's just it's a start. You have done a very good start, and I wish you all the luck. And hopefully new small filmmakers, individual filmmakers with a budget constraint can get your support.
And that is the same reason, that's the motto, that's the like prime area of interest, while we are considering the individual filmmakers, that they should get a promotion worldwide. And that is the reason for what we are not taking any kind of copyright for the filmmakers end. What we choose, that you use this platform and spread your project to a wider number of audience, and the copyright goes entirely to the filmmakers or the people who are associated with it. So that's all. It's very nice talking to you, Shaurya and Rajesh. And today we are about to end our tete-a-tete session, but this is not an end. We will come with many more other filmmakers all around the world. There will be certain intricate topics where the filmmakers and the people associated with the films, they are going to highlight. And also stay tuned to know that which are the best 5 movies from each category, and who have scored a very well number in terms of viewers. So we are also going to reward them. That's all. We are signing off. Have a nice time, and be with My Cinema Hall app, be with Tete-a-tete, and be a film buff. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.